Hello everyone, welcome to Smart Investing. So this is the third video, the long version of the Wall Street popular stocks for first quarter of 2023. So the third stock that I have is BIO. Let me go that route and then get that one out of the way. So BIO is the stock that I have. So we're going to go over the fundamentals and technicals. Again, I want to try to keep this video short and just run through the numbers like we always do. So BIO, ticker symbol, $470 as of February 4th. Today's Saturday. It is 8:10 p.m. So $470.88. Volume, it's not quite high, but not quite low. There's some action. That's better than nothing. Market cap, we can see here at 14 billion, 52-week high and low. We have a low of 344, high of 670. That is a lot of price range for the year. So this is a stock that is very, very active. I'm surprised to see a price range like that based on the market cap alone. Typically, and in general, just in general, and it does happen every now and then, but in general, the higher the market cap, the more active a stock is, especially mega cap companies, the ones that I have on the main watch list. It's not a watch list that I like, or it's not a preferred watch list. It's just a watch list that I keep track of as sort of indication as to how the market is doing. I've done it in previous videos, and again, these are market cap companies that are over 100 billion or more in market cap. And typically, all those stocks, I think there's about 100, and these are stocks that move the markets. And I wouldn't say at any given time one or two companies might change hands and might beat the market cap, but typically, in general, those companies stay in their place, in their top spots, and they really don't go down much in market cap. So anyhow, aside from that, I'm just comparing the prices versus larger companies. So apparently, for this stock to gain that price, we're going to look at technicals as well and look at this first page. So for the PE ratio, it's not showing me anything. That's pretty horrible. For PE is showing me a 32, and I really don't like going over forward PEs because anything can change. Whether investment wise, whether people like the stock or not, and regardless of that, you have institutions, you have hedge funds, and everybody involved. A lot of people involved when it comes to the stock market. That's a given. So other than that, this is very, very odd to see. Earnings per share, I've seen negative earnings before, but at this rate, at this level, negative 201, that's not really good. And then we're in the start of 2023, so anything can happen. I would say to set a trend, I'd give it at least the first quarter to finish and see how that's going on and finish that up. And once reports are in for the first quarter, maybe we can establish a definite trend as to, what's going to happen in the next 3 months or so. So again, we still have at least 3 months more to report for Q1 for 2023. So regardless if earnings are doing good overall or slightly for the majority for this sector or industry or whatever, I'm still expecting for the most part lower earnings from companies, whether they cut staff or not, just because we had a bad year in 2022 and people were getting cut off and laid off and all that because companies, public companies need to save money. So that's usually, if one big company does it, everybody else follows suit. So anyhow, going over the numbers and looking at this, it's strange to look at. Really, it's showing low turnover. So this is a very consistent stock. So what I'm expecting to see in the chart, I wouldn't expect, just based on these numbers on this first page that I see, I wouldn't expect a lot of choppiness. I'd expect more of straight lines, which I am seeing. So let me look at the 5 year. I'm going to expect to see straight lines. So that's an obvious trend. So very, very consistent stock. And now, as we can see here, it was pretty flat, and then now it's starting to go up. Now let's jump to the 1 year, see what's happening with that. So it looks like it's curving down, and then now it's starting to curve a little bit up. Who knows if it's going flat, because I see it flat here, then it kind of jumped up and went flat again. So we'll see. We'll see. Now for this stock, let's skip the options part because I don't really do options. The news, I don't really care too much about the news, unless it's something drastic. Now, news feeds, sometimes it can help. Obviously, the earnings are important, but to follow the stock all the time, I think to really, when it has bad numbers or weird numbers, I think that's the time to kind of retract and then look at the news. But when the numbers do make sense, if I'm making any sense, then you can probably skip it. It's not much of a big deal. But again, when you have certain news that doesn't make sense with the numbers that you're looking at, in this case, in my opinion, I don't think the numbers are making sense. So I'm gonna look at some news. I'm gonna try to look at everything from when the chart started. Let's say going flat. So let's go back to August. I'm going to look at news from August and see what was happening there and try to see what was going on with the stock compared to the technical analysis. So it says Bio-Rad, it acquired a company. So that's actually good news. It makes sense for them to take a hit because they have to do some payouts. So obviously they're losing money on that end temporarily. And so after the acquisition and stuff takes place, that'll kick in a few weeks. So things get stable and things start to kick in. And aside from that, usually in the news, they do mention that what was acquired in the deal. Sometimes they'll say cash or stocks, a mix of both, or name changes in the company, different employees, obviously the higher ups, who's going to be in command, who's not. Are we taking half the director's table, sitting them on one side? Do we want the other half from the other company? Sometimes they just kick everybody out and keep everybody from one company. It's all a big misunderstanding even after the acquisition. Because again, even after the acquisition, I always say, anything can change. Because even minor adjustments can be costly, and then on top of that, make big impacts that are negative. if you get rid of, let's say, one or two people, key people from an old company, and you don't know what their productivity is, or you don't know uh, how well that person can perform, then, you know, if you want to save money, sometimes it's a give and take. You want to have your key people there, and then sometimes you just can't afford it. It just depends, it just depends on the company. So every decision that is made for acquisitions, I always see it as very, very crucial. Very, very crucial. It's not a good sight when companies are merging or getting acquired. It's always a hassle at first, and then it takes time to make those adjustments. So again, I'm not seeing any numbers here. It doesn't say for how much. I only see right here. So 170 million, and we're gonna see a little bit further down the line for this news. And let's see. So some banks. So Credit Suisse Credit Suisse is not really credible right now. They've been losing a lot of money lately, since 2022 of last year, especially the chaotic last quarter that we had in Q4 to end it off. So they said they rated them for outperformance rating, meaning that's a buy rating. Didn't give a price. If it does, it says it there, but I don't want to look at it. And you can clearly see on top of that, I like how Weibo added any views to anybody looking at the news, and it doesn't look like people are clicking on the news. So everybody just wants to, I guess, share comments and feedback and blah blah blah. They're not looking at facts. They're not doing their research. They're just relying on somebody else to tell them what is news. That's just not doing your due diligence. I say this all the time. You have to just do your homework. If not, you have to find someone who does. Again, I try to do a good job at what I do. I look at numbers. I try to look at things that need to be overlooked, and I think I'm pretty good at what I do. So again, I'm just sharing my information and my workload with you, so that way you guys can see for yourself. Even if you don't want to do the work, again, I'm always taking requests, any special requests. If you want me to look at certain companies, that's fine too. So anyhow, I just want to browse at major news. So it's talking about posting earnings. So anything that has to do with the government, FDA, that's usually a big flag. They want to. Oh, it doesn't say what companies. So FDA updates COVID-19 test policy to cut emergency use requests. So they were cutting, I guess, COVID-19 testing. That's what I'm gathering from the title. I just don't want to go through too much of the news. Again, I'm just skimming through it, trying to get, brainstorming ideas as to what's going on with this company just by reading the title. Obviously it's good to read. It's just a lot of news, and a lot of time putting into this. So again, from experience, I just try to read the first, title of the news and try to just, I want to say guesstimate, but just not. I don't need the numbers. I just need to know info, what's going on. That's pretty much it. So right here, it says also in October, they were in talks to combine with Qijin. I don't know what that company is, but I guess that's important news, and we could look at that. We'll go back to that in a bit. I just want to still look at more news. So again, other people kept reporting this. You see Dow Jones also reporting that, Forward News reporting these talks. When you have more than one news media, obviously that's a big flag. So we'll see if they actually go through. It looks like they did do mergers. This is very important, this news. So not only did they do an acquisition, now they did another merger. They're moving very, very fast. Biorad. So they're doing something right with these acquisitions. It's weird to say, but for a mid-cap company, and they're just getting out of that small cap phase, that $3 to $10 billion company. I mean, they were 14 billion, so they're just starting to be a mid-cap company. And it's crazy to say, but they're moving pretty fast for growth because of these acquisitions and mergers. So they seem to be doing something right. When I look at that news beforehand, when they were talking about acquisitions and all that. So right here, another buyback program in November. So that's definitely bullish. Oh, I don't know what happened there. So again, that was definitely bullish. What happened here? I'm having some difficulty, so just bear with me. What is going on? There it is. I didn't see that. I apologize for that. I didn't see that. That minimize tab. I don't think they had that before. Again, I apologize for that. So anyhow, moving on. For this. So again, with the news for this stock, it looks like they did a buyback program, and this was in the span of the last 6 months. So they did buyback program, acquisition, and then a merge. It looks like they stood with the same name because I didn't get anything for a name change for the news. Obviously, more money is involved for this company, and I want to see what else is going on. So anyhow, for this company, the analysts really love this stock, as I mentioned before. Let me move this up. So we can see here, main reason why Wall Street likes this is because they rated this a buy. 33% of analysts said it's a strong buy, and 67% have said it's a buy. And again, this was on 6 analysts' decisions. Again, we're going over through these numbers. So for the technicals, again, it went down, then it started to flatten down. Now it's starting to curve up and start to flatten again, but they had a small curve, so it's hard to say if this company would break to new highs or even get close to it. We just have to take it day by day. So anyhow, moving on to the quants. So for the technicals, do I like them? I'm just kind of questioning myself. Do I like them? They're okay. I would like to see more volume. I would have to see what institutions are involved. Obviously, BlackRock. If you haven't heard of BlackRock, they're everywhere. They have so many stakes in so many companies. Um, if you have big names like that are invested, obviously bullish long term. That's just an obvious statement. But anyhow, when it comes to the strategy, looking at the quant rating, uh, thinking about this company, can I use this company for any kind of strategy? The value, it says 5.8. Uh, it's hard to determine what's a fair price for this stock. Quality 5.59, I don't know. Growth 5.61. Based on the information in the chart that I saw, I think the growth is okay. It's not bad or it's not like insanely high, but I'd say it's above average. I'd say it's above average. And again, for the value, for the price, I'm just not sure. Uh, Seems pretty pricey. Just saying that. I mean, if I didn't know the market cap, let's pretend if nobody knew the market cap, at $470 for this stock, you would honestly, I would think that this company is like a large cap company worth more, and it's not. So we have here the shares at 21 million shares, but then again, this is a mid cap company at 14 billion. It's just insane to see that. I want to see more financials and a little bit more info. So, Biorad, what do they do? It obviously sounds like laboratory, so that's the name of it. Obviously, they're in the healthcare, but now, what kind of healthcare? Let's go into what kind of industry and see what they're all about. So, it looks like they do medical equipment supplies and distribution, and also secondary industry. It says they're involved in healthcare equipment and supplies. So, either equipment or supplies or both. So I want to read about this company a little bit. So they manufacture the life science research, healthcare, analytical chemistry, and other markets. So just kind of skimming through it. So just reading here. Food testing regimes. So it looks like they do food inspection as well, or they sell some kind of kits or something like that. So they sell support test systems, informatics system test kits, and specialized quality controls that serve clinic laboratories and global diagnostics. So now let's click on this industry. How many companies are industry? So it's a pretty big market here. So we add that up. That's at least 150 companies there. That is a lot of companies to compete with on this scale. Now, healthcare equipment as well. We have 164, 124 that were positive. We're going to add those up. That's at least 280, at least 280 companies in the healthcare equipment. That is high. Again, some companies that are in this industry might be on here. So even then, we look at the minimum number I said was around 150. Again, that's still 160 to be a little bit more accurate. So about 160 companies. That's a lot of companies to compete with. Now we want to look at some financials just to get some value out of this. earnings. So we have here highest earning in sorry, highest earning for the last 4 quarters was for the first quarter in 2022, and they were reaching close to $5 in earnings. And obviously, they killed estimates in Q1 2022, just looking as high as they are. So, based on these numbers, they're averaging about, I'd say, $3 and a quarter. That would be fair. Say around this line. I know they dropped here, but this earnings was a huge blowout, so that will make up for this one. So let's say about 325 minimum. And we're going to look at some numbers here when it comes to fundamentals. So they have lost in 2021, and I don't have 2022 numbers, which is awful. We're already in the second month already. I should have 2022 numbers, but I don't. So anyhow, 2020 going to 2021, that's close to 10% on return of assets. Another 12% here on equity. Earnings have gone up though from 2020 to 2021, which is pretty obvious. I'm sure a lot of companies lost money going into 2022. And then we have net margins. Net margins, click on that. So about the same from 2020 to 2021. Then the debt, we have 23%, which is pretty low. That's actually pretty good. Really, really good. They know how to manage their debt. So I think that's why people are so bullish on this stock. Aside from that, looks like for the most part they know how to manage money, because you know they manage the debt, and then aside from that, balance sheet is just getting bigger and bigger, and again, debt is smaller and smaller. So it looks like their assets are increasing, and I would believe that's why, just with that case alone, from 2020 to 2021, obviously their margins grew, everything grew, and the debt actually remained the same. So that was actually pretty good on their end. As for cash flow, we want to see if they're not negative. I would assume they're positive. So got 784. So we want to see 784 plus 55. Let's do the math on that real quick. So 839. So from 839 minus 656. So we're talking about $183 million in negative cash flow. But what do they have in their net income? So we have here net income. They can definitely cover that with their net income coming in over $4 billion. So they're not worried about their cash flow, which makes sense. They have plenty of profit coming from their net income. So these guys definitely know what they're doing. They're not going crazy with cash flow. They're definitely profitable. As for their earnings, again, I look at the top and bottom line. I know they've been losing money when it comes to their equity and assets. So from 2020 to 2021, and the return on equity is going down slightly. But again, it looks like they've been managing money quite well. So this stock has not paid any dividends at all, none whatsoever. So again, medical equipment, supplies, and distribution. Again, I can see why. Again, it's hard to value this company. It seems like a good company just based on the numbers alone. And fundamentally, it's definitely a good company. Technicals are okay, just need a little work. Now, let's go back to the strategy part. Quality, I would say it's growing. Its quality, it's above average. Growth, I would say it's above average. So that's good. Momentum, I don't know if this stock is pretty popular. I would have to wait on that. So I'm not sure about this one. Income, there's no income for this stock. And for value, I would have to go over. So these are two numbers I have to go over. Again, it's hard to call on momentum because this stock is so expensive. Yes, it's discounted from its prior price from last year, but again, it's still pretty expensive. And you're not getting any dividends for this stock. So it makes it a little bit more risky because there's no return at all, no guaranteed return, as I like to say. And then on top of that, it's hard to price this stock when I don't even have any average earnings. So I have nothing to go off of to price this. I would have to look at a different metric, probably price book or price to sale. Again, uh, it's hard to go off of how high this company can be. And then again, too, the thing is, too, is that if people are willing to pay for an overpriced stock, even though you know that the company might be worth way less, and I'm talking about instances where you know it's like, gosh, people are overpaying. I've seen plenty of companies out there. It's crazy for me to say this, but I've seen even YouTubers, uh, professional ones, because I follow professional YouTubers and companies and stuff, and they say that the company is worth a certain price, or they think it's a good price. And in many instances, I've seen where they've recommended certain prices, and I would think that, wow, that price is still too high. And the reason being, and to be honest, is because they have no patience. Just because you hear someone say it's a good deal doesn't mean it's a good deal. Again, I don't think they might do their research, but for some odd reason, I don't think they're understanding the numbers. I'm sorry to say, but they're I'm not mentioning any names. I don't want to publicly throw people under the bus, but there's a bunch of channels that even I follow where I don't listen to their numbers because I know they've been wrong. It's not me pointing out that they're wrong and always kind of finger pointing. It's just that it sucks when you don't know who to listen to because somebody, you're getting all these price quotes from different people, and then you're not sure if it's a good evaluation or not. So somebody like me who actually looks for really, really good deals, I think a lot of the reason too is that aside from me doing the analysis and the evaluation and everything on it, it's just that I'm willing to wait for a price drop. It's not something where, okay, I think it's worth that. Let's just, you know, jump right in. Uh, and even though they have a price, it's still not in a price range. That's the other thing. A lot of people are not recommending price ranges. I'm honestly, I think I'm one of the very few people in the finance YouTube community, if you want to call it that, that does stock market channels. Because everybody, finance is different for everybody, but I'm not here to talk about how to manage your money. But when it comes to the stock market, that's up my alley. That's uh, that's a higher level of finance, if that makes sense. Because obviously we all need money, but when it comes to investing, that's just a higher level of money management, if that makes any sense. So I'm sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm just trying to think of what I'm trying to say. I apologize for that. So again, it really comes down to evaluation, and again, you don't have to pick just a spot on price. It can be between a range. That's something that a lot of people miss. I try to give price ranges. I think I typically do that in my videos. If I don't, then I'll start mentioning it more. I think I do it more on my longer videos. I don't think I have enough time to mention it in my shorter videos. Again, that's why I recommend to watch my longer videos. You get better and more information. So anyhow, moving on from this, again, I can't recommend a price on this stock. This is something that I will have to wait on, uh, come back to. I'm in no hurry to do that. If if anybody sees a PE ratio or earnings elsewhere, I'll try to look at my other sources. If not, then so be it. I'll look at this stock at a later time when I do have the correct numbers instead of guesstimating when it comes to earnings and PE. And that way I can evaluate really good price or and also price ranges where this stock is uh, at a very good deal. Not at a fair price, not at overpriced, like really good deal. So again, to use this stock, again, for the strategy, I could see this stock as a growth stock. Definitely, definitely. I see why Wall Street likes it. But again, I don't know what price ranges I can see happening for this stock. So again, that's my take on it. Thank you guys for watching. I know I talked too much, and this is all I have. Again, ticker symbol BIO. They are in the medical equipment, supplies, and distribution. So it looks like they do diagnostics and they send out kits to uh, laboratories and life sciences companies. And it seems like they're doing a very good job at it. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. I apologize that I don't have a price for you. I will next time go over the stock when it comes down in my list to reviewing sectors, and hopefully I can have those numbers. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.